right, we're going to go through the garden and welcome everybody to the fall 2020 garden video tour. Um, Started doing this for mom, but have found some other people that enjoy it, so here we go. All right, pretty much everything back here is garden, and the big part of this that's really new is the big planter boxes. So during quarantine, built all of these. Now, the good news is I got it all done. The bad news is I couldn't get it all done before it was time to start doing some planting. So I had to get kind of tricky about how I was filling them up and how I started planting things. So there's still some unevenness in the boxes, but we'll get beyond that. The other thing that was kind of tricky was I planned on filling it with compost from the county landfill. I can go get truckloads for free. All of that stuff was shut down because of quarantine. So I had to get a little bit creative, and what I did was I filled it up with chips from a person that does tree cuttings. And so he dropped a couple loads here, had to take it back. It represents about 100 wheelbarrow full of wood chips. And then when I went to go plant, I'd have to move the chips around, put some soil in or compost, and then fill it up. So next year, all of this will be a little bit better, a little bit easier to work with. But anyways, here we go. Welcome to JW Farm. So compost pile here. This is something I'm going to be building some more upright planters that we're going to use for greens, lettuces, and things like that. But anyways, so got over here, got some flowers that I use for trying to bring in and attract anything that's a pollinator. So we use a lot of variety of things, and I try to make it a variety, and I try to keep it as stuff that works well here in Central Florida as much as possible. Okay, so basically 2 beds. This one and that one. This one's a little bit smaller, as you can see. Like I said, I had to fill everything up with like wood chips for the most part. So where I go to make any kind of planting, I have to try to remove the wood chips, go in there with some compost and soil, get everything prepared. So as a result, what I'm seeing is my tomatoes have not done so good. Tomatoes are always really picky about the soil. I've got one that's growing pretty well here, but I lost 5 or 6 of them that were over there, so I'm trying to start some seedlings that'll take care of that. But you can see along here I've got a lot of different herbs using this to give the tomato a little bit of space between the edge of the planter. These guys, this basil and stuff like this, it'll all grow pretty much anywhere. So I've got holy basil here, I've got lemon basil, I've got regular basil, Genovese, and then I've got some cilantro here. And you can see my amazing markers that my beautiful daughter made for me. These things are pretty much everywhere. This is a Brandywine tomato. It's a kind of a big beefsteak style tomato. And then I was trying to grow a new cultivar in there. It's a type of cherry tomato. It's a Dave's Atomic Grape or something like that. Did not have any success. So now I'm going back and I started some seedlings again for some cherry tomatoes, couple different cultivars that I've used in the past that have done well. Got some oregano here, got some mint, got a lot of mint. There's mint everywhere. There's actually some mint right there. That's spearmint right there. It smells unbelievable. Love it. And then this is apple mint. I've never grown it before, but I like it. It doesn't smell as good, but it's very heat tolerant, and I'm hoping that it'll be something I can keep propagating going forward. And then this is just regular peppermint right here. All right, coming up into here, of course, everybody in the family will recognize these markers. So my marker from when I was a very, very small boy, that's Elena. Ian from when he was the same age. I was about 3.5 here. Ian was about 3.5. And then Alex's marker I made when she was about 3.5. And then you can see I got cucumbers, and the cucumbers are doing really, really good. So I got lots and lots of cucumbers that were growing in here. They're all like maybe 1 to 3 inches now. There's probably about a dozen of them all together in here. So they're doing pretty good. This is a trellis system I made for the tomatoes that didn't grow. So what I've done is I've just kind of connected it all together. I'm going to let this be its own canopy of cucumbers. There's another new one right there. I haven't seen that one before. This is zucchini. Because I didn't have a chance to really properly plan a lot of stuff out, this stuff is a little bit close to where the edge of the box is, but it's doing well enough, so I'm pretty happy. But what I do think is I've got a row of onions down here that are going to be pretty covered up. I don't know how well they'll do. And a second row of a different kind of onion there that I think will be fine. This first row may not work, so I'm actually getting ready to plant another row of onions over there just to make sure. This is comfrey, so I've got comfrey growing in a couple of places. It's a super accumulator. It pulls a lot of good nutrients out of the ground, and then I throw that into my compost to amp up the compost. Some aloe, we actually use this pretty regular. You know, we just go grab a leaf when we get a burn or something that we need to address. A couple of different types of lettuces in here. It's all cut and go. It's not a head lettuce, so I can cut it as I need to, eat it, and you just keep coming back. You just cut, come back. A lot of green beans here. You can see I got to do some picking today. Mom, you'll be getting some green beans, it looks like today, because there's so many of them. There's just tons of green beans growing in here. It's doing really, really well. That over there is spaghetti squash. So we're growing that. I've tried growing it before, did not have success. The plants are looking good. It's starting to produce flowers. Don't know how well it's going to come out. We'll see. So these are largely bush. Here's some pole beans in here. Black Valentine is the cultivar that I chose for that. And then there's another mix over there that I can't remember the name of. And then if we come down this way, this is radish. And it's a new kind of radish for me. I've never grown this type before. It's called rat tail radish. And it's got a couple of unusual characteristics. But one of the things that I found is that the greens are really, really good. Normally I don't like radish greens, but these radish greens are so good. Really good taste. Just a little bit of a peppery finish to it, but not much. So I got those. Got some more that I planted yesterday. Got some carrots that are starting to get ready. Alex will be eating fresh picked carrots here pretty soon. A couple of different kinds of kale in here, some endive. And then this was an interesting mistake right here. This is turmeric. So what happened was we bought a big thing of turmeric because we like making a turmeric tincture that we use for just our general health. It helps with anti-inflammatories. And we had some that we'd forgotten about that got stashed kind of behind a few other things in the pantry, and it started budding. So I just picked out this little area, kind of cleaned it up, put all the turmeric in there, and now you can see this is all turmeric growing right here. So we'll be able to get a whole bunch of turmeric from this one little area here at some point. And then this is a volunteer pineapple. When I was getting everything prepared, we just kind of throw all the vegetation that we have. We just start throwing things in there. And one of the things that got thrown in was apparently some sort of a partial pineapple, and it started coming up. I recognize it because we grow pineapple in other areas, so I didn't have the heart to move it. I just left it there. Anyways, so this is the garden. Lots of good beans. We've done really good with that. Cucumbers are looking really good. Tomatoes not so much, but I'm not surprised. It's the this particular year. You know, I've just got to do more with the soil. But really, really happy with the results so far, and just looking forward. Oh yeah, and almost forgot my nursery. I got a nursery back here that allows me to start doing all of my seedlings, because I do pretty much everything from either cutting or seeds. And so I've got a really nice, well-organized area now where I can do all of that. So I've got a couple of different kinds of tomatoes in here. These are my large cherry and some San Manzano, big rainbow. And then another thing I'm going to do this year that I haven't done before is two different types of strawberries. I've got White Soul and Yellow Wonder. Both of them are white variety of strawberries, but they're very heat tolerant, which is something that we need here. But I've got a whole bunch of seedlings there I'm looking forward to working with. And then a lot of times when I go to cut back the mint, I'll just propagate some new stuff, so you can see all the roots that are starting to form. So I'll take this and pot it up, and then I'll be ready for the next batch of mint that I'm going to do. Another one of my really cool markers that my beautiful daughter made for me. Fennel. I got some fennel seedlings, but I just put the seeds in this container yesterday, so they haven't started growing yet. Anyways, so got this all well organized. Of course, all of my compost and everything here that I do. Got about 150 gallons of compost that'll be ready to go in the ground pretty soon. And I think that's it. So, Mom, wish you could come see it in person. Glad that I can bring it to you like this, though. Everybody else, thanks for following along, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.